The enduring power of Stoicism, a path to authentic living. In our relentlessly paced modern world, where the echoes of manipulation and the siren song of inauthenticity constantly vie for our attention, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a powerful and enduring compass for navigating life's inevitable storms and discovering a profound sense of inner peace, resilience, and authentic purpose. Consider waking each morning not with a sense of dread or obligation, but with a crystal-clear understanding of your values, priorities, and the specific steps you can take to cultivate a life of genuine meaning and joy. This transformative vision is not a utopian fantasy. It is a tangible reality for those who embrace the core tenets of Stoicism: the power of controlling our reactions, the importance of focusing on what we can influence, and the cultivation of unwavering contentment amidst external chaos. This journey, however, requires more than just a superficial understanding of Stoic principles. It demands a continuous, deliberate engagement with these timeless teachings until they permeate our thoughts, shape our perceptions, and guide our actions, effectively transforming them from mere intellectual concepts into second nature. Like the persistent drip of water, gradually shaping even the most formidable stone, the consistent application of Stoic wisdom gradually reshapes our responses, reframes our narratives, and fundamentally reorients our lives towards a path of authenticity, purpose, and unwavering serenity. Stoicism is needed in a world of hidden battles. Today, our minds are constantly engaged in a war between what is true and what manipulates us. This conflict shows up in movies, books, and even our phones. To deal with this, it's important to use old Stoic ideas. These Stoics knew how to protect their minds. They taught us to defend our inner reason and character so that we can not only survive but also improve when things are confusing. We can use these old beliefs to see through tricks and live a meaningful life, even when modern society puts our Stoicism to the test. It's not just about avoiding problems. It's about building a life that is true, tough, and truly free. Let's think about an example. You're friends with someone, and then someone else shows up, and suddenly, your friend starts sharing your private thoughts or twisting your words to create a conflict between you. These things can be more emotionally damaging as an adult than in school. It's like being stuck in a play where the rules are always changing and you're constantly falling behind. The honest truth is, you might not even know what's happening until you're overwhelmed with questions and feel isolated in a crowd. Wise individuals like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca emphasize how essential it is to have inner peace and comprehend our responses to external events. Applying Stoic principles, one might observe the situation objectively, recognizing the manipulation without succumbing to its influence. By accepting the autonomy to govern one's reactions, even in the face of external manipulations, one effectively shields their inner peace from being disturbed by the actions of others. Stoic wisdom highlights the value of clear communication and directness in our relationships. If you feel someone is deceiving you, be honest and open with them. Sometimes, bringing what's hidden into the open can dispel the shadows of manipulation. Remember, your best protections against deception are your sense of self, your ability to question the story being told, and your dedication to keeping relationships honest and open. In essence, life may consistently present opportunities for leaks in our boats, but Stoicism equips us with the ability to swiftly address them and maintain a steadfast course toward integrity and knowledge. Life often throws us into situations where we feel stuck between what to do and what not to do. This can lead to a cycle of making the wrong choices, resulting in criticism or failure. Imagine being encouraged to share your thoughts, only to be scolded or ignored when you finally speak up. This creates a confusing dynamic where the rules seem to change arbitrarily, often orchestrated by those seeking to control you. Recognizing the dichotomy of power, as taught by Stoicism, is crucial in navigating such situations. The core concept centers on distinguishing what we can control from what we cannot. We have dominion over our actions, our reactions, and our honesty, but not over the actions of others, even when they deliberately seek to trap us. If someone encourages you to speak up and then criticizes you for it, remember that your worth and the value of your efforts are not determined by their response, but by your commitment to honesty and integrity. The Stoic approach involves recognizing the double bind for what it is, an external challenge that does not diminish your inherent worth or capabilities. Instead of reacting with anger or self-doubt, observe the situation calmly and without attachment. Seek clarification on what is expected and address any conflicting feedback directly. When resolution seems impossible, the Stoic practice of focusing on remaining true to one's principles offers the most effective path forward. Another insidious form of manipulation is projection, where someone attributes their own undesirable thoughts, feelings, or motivations onto you. This can lead to confusion and self-doubt as you begin to question your own actions and perceptions. For instance, someone struggling with their own dishonesty might accuse you of lying, or someone experiencing jealousy might accuse you of being untrustworthy. Stoicism advises us to critically assess such accusations. Are they genuine reflections of our character and behavior, or are they merely projections of someone else's inner turmoil? By maintaining a clear sense of self and staying grounded in our own truth, we can prevent these false projections from disrupting our peace of mind. Marcus Aurelius advises us to approach others' flaws with understanding and kindness, recognizing projection as a manifestation of their internal struggles. This enables us to respond with empathy rather than anger or defensiveness. However, empathy does not necessitate agreement or silence. We can calmly and firmly refute false accusations, and if possible, encourage the accuser to reflect on their own behavior. In a Stoic framework, we acknowledge the boundaries of our responsibilities. We are accountable for our actions, our integrity, and our reactions, but not for the emotional baggage that others attempt to impose upon us. This distinction is essential for preserving our mental well-being when targeted by projection. Establishing and upholding clear personal boundaries can also serve as a safeguard against projection. Stoicism underscores the importance of discerning what is rightfully ours, mentally, psychologically, and morally, from what is not. When someone projects their flaws onto us, it signals a need to reinforce our boundaries and prevent their negativity from encroaching upon our inner space. Manipulation often takes the form of creating a false sense of urgency, pressuring us to make decisions quickly without adequate information or time for careful consideration. This tactic can be found everywhere: in limited-time sales offers, in relationships where a partner pushes for premature commitment, and in workplaces where unrealistic deadlines force rushed decisions. One of the central tenets of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control, provides a powerful antidote to this pressure. Recognizing that we cannot control external demands, but we can control our response to them, is key. As Stoicism suggests, taking a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and assess the situation with clarity and reason allows us to resist the impulse to rush. Seneca reminds us that time is our most precious resource, while Stoicism asserts that aligning our choices with our values and our understanding of truth is more important than speed. When pressured to act quickly, quoting Seneca can be a powerful way to assert our need for time. Recognizing that the sense of urgency is often artificial and that genuine opportunities will allow for thoughtful consideration is crucial. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to live in the present, acting with integrity and purpose. By remaining grounded in the present moment, rather than succumbing to the pressure of the ticking clock, we can maintain composure and make choices that are truly in our best interests. Dealing with time pressure in a calm and stoic manner requires courage. Courage to say no, to ask for more time, and to stand firm in our decisions, even when they contradict the expectations of others. It requires the strength to resist the tide of urgency and choose the path that aligns with our values and good judgment. Inconsistent behavior from others can be particularly unsettling, as it undermines our basic need for stability and predictability in relationships. The constant shifting of affections and expectations can leave us craving approval and belonging, leading to a pattern of walking on eggshells in an attempt to decipher the ever-changing rules. The Stoics teach that our happiness and peace of mind should not be contingent upon external factors, such as the actions of others. Seneca argued that we should ground our happiness in our own virtue and reason, rather than in the opinions of others. When faced with inconsistent behavior, Epictetus suggests that we can choose our reaction, focusing on the fact that our thoughts and actions are the only things truly within our control. This does not mean ceasing to care about how others treat us, but rather preventing their mood swings from dictating our own mental state. Embracing Stoicism in the face of uncertainty involves cultivating a sense of self-worth that is independent of external validation. Realizing that we do not require stability and consistency in our relationships to feel happy and secure is a critical step in this process. Marcus Aurelius advises us to find peace within ourselves, even when external circumstances are turbulent. This inner peace serves as a compass, guiding us through the fog of inconsistent behavior. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of clear communication and boundary setting when dealing with others. Inconsistent behavior may indicate a need to be more explicit about our own needs and expectations. It encourages us to display courage and justice, Stoic virtues that urge us to address issues directly and treat others with fairness and respect. Emotional blackmail is a particularly insidious form of manipulation that weaponizes our own emotions against us, holding our feelings hostage and demanding a price for their release. This price might involve sacrificing our values, compromising our safety, or complying with the blackmailer's demands. This manipulation exploits our fundamental human need to feel, using our vulnerability to control us. Emotional blackmail manifests in various forms, including guilt-tripping, intimidation, obligation, and shaming. These tactics prey on our fears, our loves, and our desire to be perceived as good and loving individuals. However, genuine love and respect are unconditional. They do not come with strings attached, requiring us to meet arbitrary demands or prioritize the needs of others above our own. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control the actions or expectations of others, we can control our response to them. We are not obligated to play the game. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to live in harmony with nature, which includes being true to our own character. Emotional blackmail often involves being asked to do something that violates our values or principles for the sake of others. This goes against our morals and ethics so that others can get their way. Stoics say that we should stick to our values, act with virtue, and keep our inner peace and honor intact, no matter what the outside pressures are. Stoicism also teaches us how important it is to care about other people and ourselves. When we're being emotionally blackmailed, it's important to be kind to ourselves and remember that it's okay to feel upset or confused, but we don't have to act on those feelings. It's also important to try to see things from the other person's point of view, since their actions are probably caused by their own pain or needs not being met. But being able to understand does not mean agreeing. We can show concern without giving up our freedom. Gaslighting, a subtle yet devastating form of manipulation, aims to erode your sense of reality, causing you to doubt your memory, your sanity, and even your own truth. This insidious tactic can manifest in various ways, such as denying events you know occurred, invalidating your feelings, or dismissing your concerns as irrational. The ultimate goal of gaslighting is to diminish your confidence in your own perceptions, making you increasingly reliant on the manipulator's version of reality. Amidst this outward chaos, Marcus Aurelius reminds us to remain steadfast, encouraging us to trust our own observations and retreat to our inner fortress, a sanctuary of reason and peace impervious to external manipulation. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of continuous self-reflection, conducted not with uncertainty, but with honesty and clarity. This internal examination helps us distinguish between genuine self-assessment and the doubts sown by external sources. When our reality is unjustly challenged, our familiarity with our own thoughts and minds allows us to recognize the falsehood. The Stoic approach to gaslighting involves recognizing it for what it is, an external attempt to control and destabilize us. We can fight back with our inner strength, our dedication to telling the truth, and our faith in our own perceptions. It's about keeping our emotions and minds in check, even when someone tries to tell us the sky isn't blue. False social approval, a cunning manipulation tactic, preys on our innate desire for belonging and acceptance. It subtly suggests that conforming to a particular behavior or belief is necessary to fit in with the group, even when our intuition tells us otherwise. The catch, of course, is that the assertion of widespread acceptance is often a fabrication designed to influence our thoughts and actions. Marcus Aurelius advises us to follow nature, our own individual nature, and remain true to ourselves, even when societal pressures urge us to conform. His teachings implore us to evaluate the inherent goodness of a behavior, its contribution to the collective well-being, and its alignment with our deepest values. Stoicism emphasizes the power of ataraxia, the inner peace derived from living in accordance with reason and virtue. This principle becomes particularly relevant in the context of false social approval. By adhering to our own principles, regardless of the actions of others, we safeguard our inner peace. This does not advocate for social isolation or a complete disregard for social norms. Rather, it encourages a thoughtful evaluation of these norms and their impact on our lives, empowering us to make informed choices about which ones to embrace. The Stoic practice of premeditation, or proactively envisioning potential challenges and preparing for them, can be especially helpful in navigating situations involving false social approval. By anticipating scenarios where this tactic might be employed, we can strengthen our resolve to adhere to Stoic principles and remain committed to acting with integrity, irrespective of external pressures. Withholding information, another form of manipulation, is akin to presenting only a fraction of a puzzle, preventing you from grasping the complete picture and, consequently, influencing your decisions and perceptions. This tactic thrives on our natural desire for understanding and coherence. When crucial pieces are deliberately withheld, it can lead to confusion, errors in judgment, and actions based on incomplete information. Seneca cautions against hasty judgments and decisions made without a full understanding of the facts. He advises us to patiently seek answers, pose questions, and gather as much information as possible before forming an opinion or taking action. This does not preclude making choices, but rather acknowledges the limitations of our knowledge and encourages us to proceed with a measured and thoughtful approach. Marcus Aurelius stresses the importance of seeking truth for its own sake, urging us to utilize our inner resources, reason and intuition, to question the unknown and seek additional sources of information. When confronted with withheld information, the aim of seeking the larger picture extends beyond making sound decisions. It aligns us with the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with nature and truth. Fear of attachment, in the context of manipulation, involves leveraging your anxieties about potential loss to control your behavior. This tactic exploits one of our most basic instincts, the desire for connection and security. In personal relationships, it might manifest as a threat of abandonment. If you leave, you'll never find anyone like me. In professional settings, it could appear as a threat to your career. Do this, or your career here is over. This tactic compels you to make decisions based on fear rather than reason. Stoics remind us that fear, like all emotions, is not a faithful representation of reality, but a thought that can be examined, understood, and ultimately managed. Marcus Aurelius advises that our rational mind can keep us calm, even when situations are challenging. He says that instead of letting outside noise and threats change our mind, we should go back to our inner citadel, our place of reason and virtue, where we can find the clarity and strength to stick to our choices. Seneca also says that when we face our fears head-on, we often discover that they are not as impossible as we thought. When we face the assumed results of not following through, they often lose some of their power over us. This lets us make choices based on our real values and what's best for us instead of out of fear. Blame shifting, a classic manipulation technique, involves diverting responsibility for one's actions or mistakes onto you, effectively making you the scapegoat. This tactic can induce unwarranted stress and guilt, damage your reputation, and strain your relationships. It thrives on creating confusion and ambiguity, making it difficult to discern the truth and defend yourself effectively. Stoicism reminds us that, even when falsely accused, we can control our response, focusing on maintaining our composure, assessing the facts, and upholding our integrity. Marcus Aurelius advises us to remain calm in the face of false accusations, preserving our character amidst adversity. He encourages us to avoid anger or defensiveness, and instead, to calmly present our case and allow our actions to speak for themselves. By maintaining our composure and adhering to our principles, we can preserve our peace of mind, even when unjustly blamed. Seneca advises us to cultivate patience and acceptance, trusting that truth will ultimately prevail. In the meantime, we should strive to live in a way that discredits the lies for those who know us and makes us believable because of our steadfast virtue. False praise, another type of manipulation, may involve flattery to get the targeted individual to lower their guard. It plays on our natural desire to be liked and approved of. On the surface, it's nice because it makes us feel seen and valued. But the real goal is to get us to do or decide something that benefits someone else. You need to be able to tell the difference between sincere praise and lies with a purpose. Stoicism shows us how important it is to know ourselves and value our own opinions and ideals, instead of what other people think of us. It makes us think about why someone is complimenting us and keeps us balanced whether we're being scolded or praised. Marcus Aurelius advises us to disregard the views of others, whether they are positive or negative, and to instead focus on living by reason and virtue. When we get praise, the calm way to handle it would be to enjoy it, but not let it change our plans or cloud our judgment. It means realizing that our worth comes from what we do and who we are, not from what other people say about us. Epicus talks about how important it is to be able to tell the difference between what is really good, like doing things that are in line with virtue, and what just seems good, like empty praise. He would tell us to think about the comments we get. Do they match up with what we know about our virtues and deeds, or are they an attempt to get us to do something that is not in our best interests? Exploiting empathy is a crafty strategy because it taps into one of our best instincts, the need to help others. If you say no, it can feel like you're leaving someone in their hour of need, even if your gut tells you that their suffering might not be as clear-cut as it seems. Stoicism shows us how important it is to be wise and see things as they really are. It makes us think about what's really going on, to question the story that's being told, and to figure out if our help is really needed or if we're being used as victims. Marcus Aurelius tells us to be kind, fair, and smart in everything we do. He would tell us to be careful about how much concern we show and make sure that our desire to help isn't being used to get what we want. Stoicism calls for a strengthening of the mind, not a hardness of the heart, so that we can recognize when our values are working against us. Seneca, who knew a lot about how complicated relationships are, tells us that helping someone doesn't always mean giving them what they want, but what they need. Instead of giving into requests that only support the manipulator's victim story, it can sometimes be more considerate to encourage self-sufficiency and resilience. The Stoic habit of thinking about things is also very helpful here. We can better tell when someone is taking advantage of our empathy when we think about how we connect with them. By thinking about it, we can set healthy limits and offer support in ways that are actually helpful without getting caught up in manipulative situations. Intentional silence, often referred to as giving the cold shoulder, can be profoundly unsettling as it violates our fundamental need for connection and acknowledgement. Imagine being engaged in a conversation when, without warning, the other person ceases to respond, effectively denying your words, your presence, and even your very existence. This silence is not merely an uncomfortable pause, but a calculated act, laden with unspoken messages intended to evoke feelings of invisibility, unworthiness, or anxiety. It forces you into a corner, compelling you to question your actions and your inherent value. However, it is crucial to remember that such silence often speaks more about the person employing it than about you or your worth. In the face of such behavior, Stoicism offers a powerful framework for maintaining inner peace and self-assurance. It teaches us that our worth and our tranquility are not contingent upon external validation, but rather stem from living in accordance with our own principles and values. As Marcus Aurelius advises, we should look inward, finding peace and confidence in our own decisions and actions, rather than allowing the approval or disapproval of others to sway us. The Stoic principle of emphasizing our own honesty and worth, even when others fail to acknowledge them, becomes particularly vital in the face of deliberate silence. According to Seneca, patience and endurance are virtues that prove invaluable when navigating the terrain of conscious silence. He demonstrates that honor, living a good life, and letting our deeds speak for themselves are sometimes the best things we can do. By doing this, we show that our self-esteem is not dependent on other people's willingness to talk to us. Stoicism also tells us to be kind to everyone, even those who use silence as a tool. This doesn't mean we put up with bad behavior or think less of ourselves. It just means we know that it's usually because the other person is having trouble or can't speak well. From this place of knowing, we can choose to show sensitivity and try to close the gap without giving up our own dignity. Therefore, the wisdom of Stoicism isn't just about navigating problems. It is about fundamentally reshaping our approach to life, transforming adversity into opportunity, and finding enduring contentment amidst the constant flux of external circumstances. By focusing on what is within our control, our thoughts, our actions, and our values, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and resilience that empowers us to live with authenticity, purpose, and unwavering joy. Now you know these tricks of manipulation and how to fight against them using Stoic ideas. Now, it's up to you to use them in your real life. Stoicism is a practical guide for dealing with our complex, chaotic world and staying true to ourselves. By using the knowledge of wise people like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, we can go through life with mental strength. As you deal with life's challenges, you will gain peace, self-knowledge, and joy.